Yeah, the Dow was the same. Okay, so looking at the radar screen only, okay, what are the things that are jumping out at all of you, okay? I shouldn't have to do this for you. You should be able to do this now. Start with gold. What's jumping out at you on? Okay, what's the next thing we're going to look at? The next column. Okay? What stands out at you with gold on the next column? There is probably a magenta peak on that one. Well, and it's the 180-minute chart. I'm just going to put magenta peak 180. Okay, is the RSI oversold? No. Okay. If there is a magenta peak, how far back to the ATR is it? 65 ticks. Okay. What stands out at you on crude? Okay, there's a magenta peak potential on the 45. Okay. 55 ticks back. And I'm just going to put T for ticks. Anything else that stands out at you? Come on, guys, get some coffee in you. We got to work today. Anything else that stands out at you on crude? All right, let's go down to the NASDAQ. What stands out at you on the NASDAQ? Magenta peak on the 180. How many ticks back to the ATR? 88 ticks. Okay? What else stands out at you on the NASDAQ? You have a dark red 720, correct? It's 47. So that could be a magenta peak on the 720. I know it's not, but it could be. You haven't looked at the charts yet, so you don't know that. You have to notate it, okay? What about on the Dow? What stands out at you on the Dow Jones? Same scenario. Magenta peak on the 180, and it's 73 ticks back to the ATR. All right. Is there anything that's overbought or oversold? No. All right. Let's go down to the ES. What does the ES tell us? Magenta peak on the 180. How far is it to the ATR? 31 ticks. Guarantee you I won't be trading that sucker. All right. Anything else that stands out at you on the ES? No, not really. There's nothing overbought or oversold. You know, you are getting a lot of congestion areas. It's highlighted here. Okay. You can see that we're getting a lot of the price at the congestion dot, price at congestion dot, price at ATR, price at ATR, price at ATR. But let's just focus on the stuff that just should pop out at you, knock you down. Okay? That's what we're doing. All right? What about the euro? What is it on the euro that should stand out at you? Anything? Long divergence on the 720, and I'm going to use abbreviations on this. ADX is 68 and it's red. Okay? How many ticks back is that one? There's 209 pips. And I'm going to put P for pips. Okay? What about on the... I'm going to have to move this up a little bit. And we'll shrink this one down. There we go. Okay, what about on the British pound? Anything stand out at you? potential magenta peak on the 180, and there's 49. Ooh, boy, get my fingers right here. Magenta peak on the 180, there's 49 ticks back to the ATR. And on the Swiss franc, you got pretty much the same scenario. You've got long divergence on the 720. The only difference is the ADX is only at 57, and it's red. Okay? Is the Swiss franc oversold? No. Does everybody understand that? Any questions on that? All right, we're going to put the radar screen down, and I'm going to bring over the chart. Well, hopefully I'll get the charts over here. And I've got to put my watch list on the other screen so I can change my charts. All right, now we're going to go back. What is today? Today is Wednesday. We have G7 meetings today. We also have the Bank of Canada rate statement today. Okay? So do we have any U.S. market reports that are going to cause us trouble today? That's right. We do not. Okay? For some reason, my scanner is not loading. Let me close NinjaTrader. Alright, give me a second, guys. For some reason, my data is not coming in. I think I might have locked it up. Alright, let me close it out and restart it. Yep. Leave it to me. I can lock up anything. What time do I recommend placing the trade, Christian? The rate announcement is at 10 o'clock. I would be looking to enter anytime between now and 15 minutes till. Alright, we got it back, guys. Thank goodness. My data's coming in slow because I've got a lot of stuff running at the moment. Trying to see if I can close some stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and go through gold real quick. Now, this is what we had yesterday, okay? So I'm just going to modify this and say flipped ATR. And the congestion dot is at the same level. Do y'all understand that? Yeah, that's what I need to do. Alright. Now, what is the 720 doing? Okay. It broke the congestion dot. Okay. And you're still getting that potential volume divergence, but it is not definitive yet. Understand? Okay, then on the 180, what do we have? All right, the 180, the important thing is you had a magenta peak come in, and I would say that that's completed the retracement. Okay, did it go all the way back to the ATR? Okay, no, I think it missed it by a couple of ticks. If you're looking at this, I think the high of that bar is 1190, and the ATR was 1192. Do y'all see that? Yes, no, maybe. But to me, you know, that's 20 ticks. Hey, I'm going to say it's completed it, okay? Because I'm not going to trade for 20 ticks on a 180. Do y'all understand that? But, okay, the ADX is still at 57. And, you know, just knowing the ADX like I know it, more than likely this will increase again and then you'll get another magenta peak. It's not happening right now, so I'm not worried about that. Now, let's look at the 45 minute, okay? What does the 45 minute tell us? Anything? I'm going to delete all of that stuff. What does the 45 minutes say? Basically, you're moving down. We have an ATR right now that's about 1190, okay? It's flipped. Well, let me go back. We flipped the blue ATR. All right, you had volume divergence. So expect a test for buyers, okay? Now, can we say that this is a test for buyers as it stands right now, guys? We have one blue volume bar. Can we say this is a test for buyers? That's right, we can't. We need two blue volume bars. Okay? We do not have two blue volume bars. Okay? So I'm going to get real specific with you on this right now. Because we do not have two blue volume bars, the high of that bar is 1186.3. I know it should at least come to 1186.4. It's got to go one tick higher than this bar. Do y'all understand that? Is that tradable? No. It's just information. This just tells me, this line tells me that we should go above this line. We're going to try to get back to this ATR more than likely, because when it flips an ATR, what does it have to do? It has to test for support. Okay? We know that. So, the summary for today is I expect gold to test the 1180 area, but since it flipped the ATR on the 45-minute chart, I will wait for the ATR to be tested, and it must act as resistance, meaning diverging buying volume at the red ATR before I opt to enter a trade. Is that specific enough for you this morning? Does everybody understand that? Yes, no, maybe. All right, let's go to crude. An inside bar at 515 on the 45-minute. I'm looking, Dave. If it's an inside bar, it's no longer a potential, but I'm not seeing the volume divergence either. Because from here to here, you went higher, and this bar was actually increasing over the previous bar. Yeah, if you had volume divergence on NinjaTrader, Dave, that would be fine. I'm not seeing it on multi-charts. All right. Now, let's go look at crude, because I want to show you something on crude. See if it loads the data. Okay, it's loading it. It's slowing down for some reason today. And the one thing I want to point out to you, remember, and this happens occasionally. Some people don't realize it happens, so they get real confused. And I'm going to move this over. I want to get it where I can see all of my charts at once and still be doing the PowerPoint, so give me a second here. I don't want to be switching back and forth between the PowerPoint and the charts. And this will give me room to do that. Actually, I want that one there and this one here. All right, now let's go back to this one. Here it is. Remember on Crude we said we had a magenta peak and it's 55 ticks and it was supposed to be a red magenta peak, okay? But if you look, you'll see that it's actually a blue magenta peak. Do y'all understand that? So this is why you do need to check. Okay? And what happened is this came down really, really strong and it turned the ADX red. That doesn't happen very often, but it will happen. Okay? So I wanted to make sure that y'all understood that. Now let's go back to Crude. Here we go. So do we still have the congestion area? Yes, we still have the congestion area. Okay? What about on the 720? What's going on the 720? It's moving down. That's all there is to say on Crude. It's moving down. Okay? On the 180, we had the magenta peak come in. And as far as I'm concerned, the retracement is complete. Okay? Then when we go to the 45-minute chart, we had a blue magenta peak, okay? It's moved down off of that, okay? And what is important right now, price is at the congestion dot below price at around $58. I'm not being exact here, okay? We have had volume, well, currently for the next 19 minutes, we have potential volume divergence, okay? If that remains the same, okay, in other words, we don't make a low and this volume bar here does not turn into a pink bar, then that would be confirmed volume divergence in 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay? What does that mean? Okay? And I'm going to put check in 19 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay? Or, if you actually highlight that bar, it will tell you it's going to finish at 8:15. So you can say check at 8:15 a.m. All right. Now, the summary on this is Crude has potential to move down to the $56 congestion dot on the 1440-minute chart. There is nothing in the way on the 720 and 180. However, the 45-minute has a congestion dot at $58. Okay? Probably needs to test the ATR at 59 above price to ensure that that area acts as resistance for continuation to the downside. Check 45-minute chart at 8:15 a.m. for potential divergence indicating upward movement to the ATR for test of buyers. Is that specific enough for you? Any questions on what you need to do on Crude today? So, do we need to enter Crude right now? No. What are we waiting on? Test of that ATR to make sure that it's going to act as resistance. Everybody understand that? Simple things aggravate me like that, so, okay. I was talking about my charts, guys, not y'all. Alright, now, let's go to the Dow. I know my charts aren't moving, but I don't know why. It's probably something to do with all the programs that I have opened at the moment. Alright, what's happened on the Dow? Price flipped that ATR. CD is I'm going to put it at 18,000. We know it's a little bit lower than that. Okay. And we have potential volume divergence. Okay. Now, when you come down to the 720, what's happening on the 720, guys? Okay, it broke the congestion dot. And that was around 18,071. Okay. Do you see any volume divergence on that? What? On the 720, there's no volume divergence on that. Sellers are increasing, are they not? Okay. So we broke the congestion dot at 18,071. Okay? And I'm not seeing anything right now that says it's going to come back and test this because volume's increasing on the lows. Okay? What about on the 180? Okay, the 180, I think, will be the key here because you've made a magenta peak. Okay? It's and it's 74 ticks to the ATR. Okay? Now, it's going to be very important to read volume at the ATR on the 180-minute chart at 9 a.m. this morning, because it may get to that ATR. Okay? If it doesn't do it at 9 a.m., then you'll have to do it at noon. Okay? If this goes back to this ATR, and it very well may do it before 9 o'clock this morning, then you would read the volume there, and it would need to flip this ATR in order to test this ATR. I'm not seeing anything right now that tells me it's going to test this ATR. Do y'all understand that? All right, now, let's go back to the 45-minute. Price is at the congestion dot at 18,071. Notice that it really has not broken through this congestion dot. Okay? If I snapped a line here, do you see how they're just kind of hanging on to that congestion dot? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. So, right now, there's potential divergence there, but we need to check it at 8:15. It very well may go back down and test this ATR here. Do y'all see that? Now, let's look at the same scenario that I showed you a few minutes ago, where, okay, we don't have volume divergence, right? There's no volume divergence as it stands right now. In order to get volume divergence, we're going to have to take out this low at 958. Do y'all see that? So that means it's going to have to go to, it's actually 961. So we're going to have to go somewhere around in here to even get volume divergence, telling us that it will go back to test this ATR. Is everybody with me so far? What would that be on the 180-minute chart? That would be the bounce down from the ATR, correct? That would be the bounce down from the ATR, correct? Can y'all hear me now? Okay. So what would I anticipate on the Dow? I would anticipate it to go back at least to the ATR on the 180-minute chart, 74 ticks, okay? Right? Read volume at that level. If diverging, it will continue down. If not diverging, we may get a bounce to around 17,951. Okay? And then upward movement to the ATR on the 720 and the 1440. That is absolutely correct, Dave. Any questions on the Dow? Please show what, Christian? What do you want me to show? The Dow? It's right here. It's right here, Christian. It's the dot right here. It's a congestion dot right here on the 45-minute. You have an ATR right here. I mean, I outlined it right here for you. Okay. All right, let's go over and let's see what the Euro's doing. I'm not going to do the NASDAQ and the ES. Y'all should be able to do that. Yeah, it really did. The beauty of yesterday was this one right here, Dave. That gave you a beautiful entry yesterday morning into that downtrend. And I actually did 12 ticks here, but then I ended up going short here. I mean, it was beautiful divergence on the Euro yesterday. I do think that we're going to see some upward movement, okay, on the Euro. And let's see. We're going to go to the Euro, okay. We're still breaking the congestion dot. We still have that potential divergence on the lows. Now, this is a 1440, okay. Yeah, they really did. You know, the NASDAQ, you had the ATR divergence, the Euro. I mean, it was a great trading day if you just looked at the volume divergence at those key levels. You know, that's really all you had to do. The one thing on the Euro that makes me think it's going to go up is because of this ADX. Now, this is the thing, okay? We've got divergence on the lows, okay? That was confirmed here. It has still made a low, and I think there's going to be divergence between these two bars as it stands right now, okay? Now, when you look over here, you are at an ATR on the 180, okay? So it's coming back down, and it's testing these lows, right? You see that it's doing it on diverging volume, okay? The only thing I have to change on this one is it is now at 68, okay? On the 180, we had the magenta peak, and retracement is complete. It's retesting the low on potential volume divergence. Okay? What does that tell me? Check the chart at 9 a.m. Why? Because that's when the bar ends. Do you understand? Then on the 45-minute, okay? Price is at CD at, I think that's about 108.60, okay? we're getting potential volume divergence because that delta is trying to flip to the upside in its lower overall volume. So I want to check that one at 8:15 this morning. Do y'all understand that? Yes, no, maybe? Now, if the volume divergence comes in on 45-minute, expect it to go back and test the ATR on the 45-minute chart. If the magenta peak on the 720 comes in, and it may, the 45-minute will need to flip the ATR to blue and retest the ATR for support. Volume must be lower on the retracement to the blue ATR before entry. What does that tell me? It's going to be a while. That's what it tells me. It's going to be a while on the euro. That is correct. It does, Dave. And it looks like the buyers are coming in. Now my data is not updating for some reason. I think it's because I've got PowerPoint open and a lot of other things open at the moment. So I'm going to close and we'll go back and see what actually happened. Now, I'm not going to do the NASDAQ. I'm not going to do the S&P or the British pound or the Swiss franc because y'all should be able to do it just as well as I just did it. We've been working on this for 2 weeks now. How many of you are doing this every morning now? No, not the right answer. Well, of course it changes by morning. That's the reason you have to keep up with it. And the thing about it, Christian, is, okay, this is 1 bar per day. Okay, that means I have to go back and change that once a day. On this one, I have to change it twice a day. All right, how many times do I have to change this one? 6 times. 3, 6, 9, I think. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 3, and 8. Sorry, it's 8 times per day. I can't do my math today. And then on the 45-minute, you're probably going to be doing that all day long. The 7:03 3-minute. Yeah, but let me do it on NinjaTrader because for some reason, I think it's because I've got so much in my scanner this morning with this. It's locking up on me, so give me just a minute. let me open up Ninja Trader, and we'll read it from Ninja Trader. Alright, let me do a 3-minute. Alright, you're looking at the 703 bars, Dave? So you've got increasing, flips to the downside, increasing again. Here's your volume divergence. That is such a low risk entry. To me, it would be a no-brainer. Literally would be a no-brainer. Because you could risk at 0892, I mean, you could go, look at how far your stop would be just using the 10-tick stop. I mean, really. These are the ones, it's like, why are you even thinking about this one? You know, this one would have been higher risk because you couldn't take it to the end of this bar, okay? That's 71, okay? You could still have gotten that for 10 ticks of risk, okay? You overthink it. I can't do anything if you're overthinking it. Sorry. This one had volume divergence right here, guys. Right here, okay? Do we wait for confirmation when we enter a trade? No. This is your volume divergence, okay? Why wait for confirmation when you're only increasing your risk? Now, look at this one over here. You could have taken it and still got it for 10 ticks, okay? But this is the bar. They gave you the volume divergence. Is right there, okay? Yeah, you could have went over here and took it. I mean, it's trying to give it to you, but you're not listening, okay? Open up your ears, listen. No buyers are coming into the market. The market will go down. No buyers are coming into the market. The market will go down. No buyers coming into the market. Market will go down. Yeah, repeat after me. Does everybody understand now? Yeah, it went out for a moment. And I mean, do you see this over here, guys? Do you see this blue line in Ninja Trader? Do you see how they never truly broke this? They were never able to really stay above this area. This is what I'm trying to teach y'all. Okay? This is not breaking through a congestion dot. Okay? Do you see any momentum in this move to the upside? Oh yeah, the euro is killer right now. Absolute killer. And if you go out and Dave look at a weekly on the euro US dollar, just look at it. That's all I'm saying. Just look at it. Okay? Just put the trend on it and look. In fact, I'll bring it up for you. Yeah, but you're going to... I want to show it to you. Same concept I tell you all the time. What is the euro doing right now? Oh, yeah. It's retesting the ATR. ATR is down here at 0551. What's the difference between 835 and 551? All day. That's 300 pips. And what is a pip worth? Okay? A pip is worth $12.50. That's how much it's worth. On the euro, it's $12.50. On the euro future, on the euro US dollar, it's 10. What did I do that for? Yeah, you need 2 red bars or you need 2 blue bars. Now, some people thought that the euro was in an uptrend. We knew it was not. Why? Because this was just a retracement back to the ATR. That's the reason it couldn't test the congestion dot. Alright, I'm going to put y'all on hold a minute because I'm going to go get me a cup of coffee and then I'll be back. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, let's see. That's quite the reversal bar to the downside. Bam. You probably have volume divergence on this bar. Long-term ATRs are extremely powerful. I mean, that was, well, let's look at it this way, guys, okay? If you had just been paying attention, just paying attention instead of getting involved in your little 3-minute charts all the time, all right? This is actually 300 ticks to the upside and at least 300 ticks to the downside. That's 600 ticks. Do y'all understand that? You have to stand back. That's where the bigger money is, okay? And I mean, if you're wanting to trade to make money to pay your bills, you need to pay attention to the higher time frame. Unless you want to drive yourself crazy, I mean, you could do that. In the room, very seldom do I use a weekly chart. Very seldom. Does that mean I don't look at them? No. Now, I don't look at them in multi-charts viewer 12, and that's because I haven't made the continuous contract in multi-charts. I have to look at it in NinjaTrader. How often do you have to look at it, guys? Once on the weekend? I mean, really, that's what you do. You look at it once on the weekend. Now, you can't do, in multi-charts, you have to create continuous contracts to look at the weeklies. No, TradeStation actually does continuous contracts, Dave. You just use the @EC and you get it. But in multi-charts, you can't use the @ symbol. Not with AMP futures. Now, if you have some of the other data feeds do, like IQ feed, but I just use AMP because that's what I trade through. One of them anyway. Now, do y'all see how we've come back to this congestion dot on both the Dow and the NASDAQ? Okay. Well, this is NinjaTrader here. It's all of my symbols, viewer 8. You got GC, YM, NQ, 6E, 6B, 6S, ES, and CL. It's the same. But I do set mine where it's a continuous contract in Ninja, and I believe I have a video on that on the website. All right. Let's see, chart. We're just going to look at the Dow on this. It's applicable to the NASDAQ as well, but I'm only going to do one. Let's see, I want minute. Yeah, I want a 45 minutes. Let's see if I can pull this up without locking up. Nope, I got to download the history. Give me just a minute, guys. Download. YM tick ask bid down. Okay. What's happening on the Dow? It's coming back to the congestion dot, and what is it doing? Buyers are not coming in. This has made a high, and so far, sellers are dominating that bar. Yeah, and they're finding resistance at the moment, too. Remember on the overview, what did we say? Read the bar at 8:15, read the bar at 9 o'clock for the 180. Y'all remember that? I mean, if you're going to do this, you need to go back and read your notes, right? All right, read volume on the 180. That's what we said. Read the volume at 8:15, okay? We did not have divergence at 8:15, so what do we have to do now? We have to read it at 9 a.m. This is the updating. Yeah, on the previous bar it was, okay? The only reason that I knew that the sellers were dominating here is because we're going up in price, and God, there's just non-existent volume there right now. Which, I may grant you, it's only, 15 minutes into that bar, okay? But if this bar stays that way, it's going to come right back down at least to here, minimum. If you look at the 3-minute, okay, and this is actually from the euro, I just changed it over to the Dow, okay? Is there anything on this chart that tells me to go short right now? I mean, we're expecting this to come back to the ATR, which is sort of like the Buddha trade, right? So when I bring up the 3-minute, is that telling me to go short? That is the correct answer. No, it is not. Move along. That's right. The same thing that we're expecting over here, exactly the same thing, no different, okay? The ATR went from red to blue, okay? It's forming resistance at the congestion dot. We're expecting it to test the ATR. Now, this ATR will move up. Will probably end up being 18,040, okay? Now you're flipping the ATR over here. ATR is probably going to end up being somewhere around here. So it's going to flip it and then come back and test it. Okay? If it tested on diverging volume, if it tested on diverging volume, I'm going to repeat that, then we're going to go down again. Do you see how we're expecting exactly the same thing? Yeah, you did have divergence here, which made that magenta peak come in that said, okay, this will at least go back to this ATR, but we don't trade that. Okay? Does everybody understand that? It's no different. Flip the ATR, retest the ATR. Flip the ATR, retest the ATR. You see how the sellers are coming in on this bar? Now that could change before 9 o'clock. I've seen it change before. Okay? It's got approximately 15 minutes. Man, they're going to have to do some major buying. Okay? Major. But, is this confirmed volume divergence? Let's say it's 9 o'clock and this is the way the bar ends. Is it confirmed or is it potential? Trick question. It is confirmed. If that bar ends just like that, it is confirmed and it will come down. Made a new high, delta flip to the downside. What can we expect? We could expect it to go back to the ATR. That's what I would expect. Looking over at the 3-minute, you're seeing sellers coming into the market. You know, that's usually pretty good stuff there. What magenta peak? Okay. So again, are we at the ATR on the 180 minute? You're not going to get a magenta peak on the 45 minute. It's blue. There's no magenta there. Let's see. I gotta check something real quick, guys. Give me a minute. I don't know if this will work or not. I'm gonna try though. Alright, let's see. Yeah, but what's the ATR at? God darn it. You would think I would get used to doing some of this stuff, and I still make stupid mistakes. At 18,140, so it's missed it by about 40 ticks. Well, that's right now, Christian. It's when I look at, okay, how far away is it from, or how far did it go from the ATR? We still may have some upward movement. It's from about 93 down to 138. So it's about 50 ticks. So you could still get some upward movement. The analyzer is giving it to you as of this moment. You have to look at it as of that high. The market analyzer in the scanner, you have to do it on the live edge. Okay, that's when, if you're saying, okay, how far did it get to the ATR, you actually have to look at the chart. Yeah, you need to change. And to do that, I've only done that once. Let me see if I can figure out how I did it. I only did it once, and you have to come over, excuse me, you have to highlight it, you have to go edit, and the merge policy, okay? That's what you're looking at. If you don't merge it, you might have it set to do not merge, okay? Then you can either merge non-back adjusted or merge back adjusted. That's what's going to actually give you the continuous contract in NinjaTrader, Dave. And you have to do that for all your symbols. I did a video that showed you how to do that. Does the big wick touch the ATR or turn gray? Wouldn't the retracement be considered completed then? If we, all right, here's one right here. And let's just presume, I like it better like this because the wick looks better. Let's presume we have a magenta peak here. What does a magenta peak tell you? It's going to go back to the ATR, okay? This has a big wick, almost touched the ATR, okay? Is that not completed? I expected it to go back to there, and it did. What does the wick have to do with it? Other than that's where price went. That's all the wick is telling you, that price went up there. Well, we already knew it was going up there. Do you understand, Kristen? Don't make this complicated. I have worked very hard not to complicate this. Now quit trying to complicate it. Absolutely. I mean, that's my method. I have to keep it simple because my brain can't take complicated. Okay? There's lots of complicated ways to trade. What's the issue with them? The more complicated you make it, the more you cannot trade on the live edge. Okay? Well, you don't have time to analyze everything if you're making it so complicated. Okay? You're trying to get into a trade. If you're trying to trade intraday futures, you're probably basing it off of the 3-minute chart. Do you have time to make it that complicated? Take an egg timer, and you'll really respect what 3 minutes equates to. It's 180 seconds. How much can your brain process in 180 seconds? Yeah, your name. That's about it, okay? Yeah, mine either. Yeah, on a binary expiration, it could be forever, especially with it, if it's right at your strike price. I've been there. I usually get up and walk away. I just walk away. Why stress myself out? But y'all get what I'm pointing out, okay? I mean, how many of you have gotten up at 7 o'clock in the morning and done this? And this exercise literally takes 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Not complicated. And, most people are not doing it because they don't have time. So how do you have time to make it even more complicated? You don't. And I mean, if you're getting used to this, you need to print these out and follow along the day, jot down notes, and then go back and update it, okay? We don't like to do that because it takes time, and we're traders. We want to be in the market. Well, part of being in the market is doing your analysis first. What good is being in the market if you don't even know which direction the market's going in? You're just throwing darts at the screen and hoping it sticks or you hit the bullseye. That's not the way I trade. I have a very methodical mind. And this is what I look for. This is what I expect. And if price doesn't do what I expect, I stay the hell out of it. Because I don't like painful experiences. Although sometimes I still have them. It's just not as painful anymore. All right, guys, any questions? Y'all gonna get me out on the rant. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's time for the market to open. I've got to trade. All right, remember tomorrow morning is Thursday, so I have the free trading room. We will not be doing this tomorrow morning. We'll just be going over the 45-minute chart. Okay? More like the dogs walk me. My granddaughter was in for my son's graduation day. I said I was going to put a saddle on the horses so she could ride them. She's not even a year old. It'd make a good little horsey for her. All right, everybody have a wonderful day. Me live in the snow? No way, Dave. Me and snow do not get along. At all. I like to see it. I look out from the window. That's it. Yeah, I know. They do scare a lot of people off, I'll tell you that. All right, everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow morning, but it will be at 8:30. We'll only do the 45-minute charts, okay? All right. Y'all have a nice one.